Somewhere beneath the icy waters between Iceland and Greenland, something extraordinary is happening right now. Something so massive, so powerful, and so completely hidden from human eyes that it took scientists decades just to confirm it exists. It is not a volcanic eruption. It is not an earthquake. It is a waterfall, the largest waterfall on the face of this planet, and not a single person has ever seen it with their own eyes. Think about every waterfall you have ever witnessed or heard of. Angel Falls in Venezuela, plunging 3,212 feet through the Venezuelan jungle. Niagara Falls, thundering between the United States and Canada. Victoria Falls, sending mist a mile into the African sky. These are the giants of the natural world as we know it. These are the places that leave people speechless, that draw millions of visitors every year, that remind us just how breathtaking this planet can be. And yet, each one of them is nothing, absolutely nothing, compared to what lies beneath the Denmark Strait. The Denmark Strait Cataract, as scientists call it, descends approximately 11,500 feet toward the ocean floor. That is more than 3 times the height of Angel Falls, more than 2 miles of vertical drop, and it happens completely underwater, completely invisible, silently reshaping the circulation of the entire Atlantic Ocean, while ships sail casually across the surface above it, their crews entirely unaware of what lies beneath their hulls. So how does a waterfall form underwater? The answer lies in something most people never think about, the fact that not all ocean water is the same. Water at different temperatures and different levels of saltiness has different densities, different weights, essentially. Cold, salty water is heavier. Warmer, fresher water is lighter. And just like oil and water separate in a glass, different water masses in the ocean behave according to their weight. In the Nordic seas, the waters are bitterly cold. They are some of the most frigid ocean waters on Earth. As this cold, dense, heavy water moves southward toward the Atlantic, it eventually reaches a submerged underwater ridge on the seafloor between Iceland and Greenland. This ridge acts like a cliff edge. When the dense Arctic water reaches it, gravity takes over. The water plunges downward in a massive, sweeping cascade that stretches hundreds of miles across the ocean floor, pouring into the deeper basin of the Atlantic at a rate that scientists estimate exceeds 3 million cubic meters of water every single second. 3 million cubic meters per second. To give that some context, the Amazon River, the largest river on Earth by water volume, discharges roughly 209,000 cubic meters per second at its peak. The Denmark Strait Cataract moves more than 14 times that amount every second, continuously, without pause. What does this actually look like? Here is where things get strangely humbling. Despite its almost incomprehensible scale, this waterfall does not look dramatic even to those who study it. Marine geologist Mike Clare, who leads marine geosystems research at the UK's National Oceanography Centre, has described it as appearing to be a relatively low-gradient slope when visualized. He has noted that a person were somehow transported to the ocean floor at that location, they probably would not notice anything dramatic at all. There is no roaring thunder, no spray, no mist, just an enormous, silent mass of cold water sliding down an incline in the dark under miles of ocean, completely indifferent to whether anyone knows it exists. The discovery and confirmation of this phenomenon required decades of painstaking oceanographic work. Scientists deployed temperature sensors and salinity instruments across the strait. They sent deep-sea profilers down into the water column. They used autonomous underwater gliders, robotic submarines programmed to cruise through the deep ocean collecting data, and planted sensors directly on the seafloor. Slowly, the picture emerged. The data revealed a powerful, continuous stream of extremely dense water moving south before cascading over the ridge and spreading across the deep Atlantic basin at a rate that scientists estimate exceeds 3 million cubic meters of water every single second. But understanding this waterfall is about far more than scientific curiosity. The Denmark Strait Cataract is one of the central engines driving a global ocean circulation system called the Atlantic Meridian Overturning Circulation, or AMOC. You may have heard this system referred to as a conveyor belt, because that is essentially what it is, a planet-wide loop of water, moving heat, oxygen, and nutrients from one part of the world to another. When the dense Arctic water plunges down through the cataract and flows south along the ocean floor, it pulls warmer surface water northward to replace it. This surface water includes the Gulf Stream, the current responsible for keeping Western Europe significantly warmer than it would otherwise be. Without this circulation, cities like London, Paris, and Oslo would experience winters far more severe than they do today. The invisible waterfall beneath the Denmark Strait is not just a geological curiosity, it's part of the reason Northern Europe is habitable. Climate scientists are now watching the Denmark Strait cataract with growing concern. As global temperatures rise, the Arctic is warming faster than almost anywhere else on the planet. Sea ice is melting. Fresh water from melting glaciers is pouring into the ocean, diluting the saltiness of Arctic waters. And this matters enormously because the entire mechanism of the underwater waterfall depends on those Arctic waters being cold and salty enough to be denser than the Atlantic water waiting below. If the Arctic waters become fresher and warmer, they lose their density advantage. They lose the weight that drives them downward. The waterfall could weaken. The conveyor belt could slow. The consequences for global climate could be profound. Marine scientist Ana Sanchez Vidal of the University of Barcelona led a research expedition to the Denmark Strait in 2023. She has described the strange experience of being on the surface above this phenomenon, looking out at typical sunny Arctic conditions, calm seas, clear skies, while knowing that beneath the hull of the ship, millions of tons of cold water are continuously cascading into the deep ocean, quietly running one of the most important mechanisms in the Earth's climate system. The contrast between the peaceful surface and the enormity below is difficult to fully absorb. What makes this story so extraordinary is not just the scale of the waterfall itself, though that scale is genuinely staggering. What makes it remarkable is what it tells us about the nature of this planet. Earth is far stranger and more complex than the version of it we see from the surface. The largest waterfall in the world is invisible. The most powerful ocean current in the Atlantic is driven by a phenomenon you could stand above without knowing. The climate systems that keep entire continents warm and livable depend on a mechanism that no human eye has ever directly observed. We are living on a planet whose most important processes are hidden from us, happening in the deep, in the dark, in the cold places where humans cannot go. The Denmark Strait cataract has been thundering silently into the Atlantic for thousands of years, long before the first human ever walked near its shores. It will continue long after we are gone, unless the climate changes it first. The next time you stand beside a waterfall, any waterfall, and feel the spray on your face and hear the roar of the water and think to yourself that this is one of the most powerful things nature can offer, remember this. Beneath the gray waters of the North Atlantic, something is happening right now that makes every waterfall you have ever seen look like a trickle from a garden hose. It has no mist, it has no sound you can hear, it has no cliff face gleaming in the sunlight. It just falls endlessly in the dark at the bottom of the world. If this video opened your eyes to just how much of this planet remains hidden and extraordinary, then please take a moment right now to hit that like button. It genuinely helps more people discover content like this. Drop a comment below telling us which part of this story surprised you the most. Was it the sheer scale of the waterfall, the connection to climate, the fact that it's never been directly seen? We want to know. And if you want to keep exploring the hidden wonders of Earth and the universe beyond it, subscribe to this channel and ring that notification bell so you never miss what we uncover next. The world is stranger than you think, and we're just getting started.